The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. I'm Moses Woldu. We got a lot of topics to talk about, in particular baseball. So if you're a baseball fan, you'll enjoy this one. Speaking of baseball fans, I got two right here. I got Matt Choumont with New Cap Sports. How's it going, man?
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad. And Chris King, you are not just a baseball aficionado, you're also the Rustlers basketball head coach for the women's team. How's it going?
It's going good. Can't complain.
Exactly. You got a trip to provincial, so you can't complain.
That's right. That's what we work for.
All right. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people who can't complain. Well, unless you're a Blue Jays fan, let's put it that way. And we'll start it off with the Toronto Blue Jays. The rotation had a lot of hype last year. This was a team that was favored to go to the World Series. Then the months of April, May, and June started off, and things didn't work out. Now, joking aside, this was a team that had a lot of talent, and we all know the pedigree that they have with Mark Burley, who came on later in the second half. Same thing with R.A. Dickey, who struggled early, but then all of a sudden came on a little bit. But they were also missing another key piece, and that was Brendan Morrow, a guy who's been with the system with the Blue Jays. Great in 2011, issues in 2012, more issues in 2013 with injuries. This year, he's come back 15 pounds heavier, not bulking mass, so we'll say that. He's put on some muscle. He isn't just put on fat.
He's thick.
Yeah, he's getting better. His arm strength is better. He says he's not feeling any pain. Now, with the rotation they have, with those guys leading year 1, 2, 3, do the Blue Jays have enough, or do they have to go out and pick up another guy like an Irvin Santana?
No, I think they got enough right now. Last year is just a complete write-off. Like, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. R.A. Dickey's going to be a lot stronger this year. Hopefully Morrow can be a lot better, a lot healthier. And like you said, he's big now, so he's got a bigger arm. So, and Mark Burley, he's a consistent pitcher. So if those guys can just get a good flow going at the beginning of the year, there should be no problem.
Yeah, they just got to stay away from injuries with the elbows and shoulders last year. I think it was a little bit crazy, but having Morrow back brings a big strikeout guy. Burley's a 200-inning eater. And I think Dickey pitched really well away from Toronto. I think he struggled a little bit at the Sky Dome. So hopefully they have enough. I worry a little about the inconsistency of their sticks more than their pitching, to be honest.
So you're saying that the rotation is one that shouldn't be a worry much it was last year. This is a team that's still got some pretty good bats. Don't you think that would at least help out the pitchers? The pitchers were the issue last year.
I think it's all, pitching is pitching, but I think at the end of the day it comes down to offense, right? Because if they're struggling and not getting any run support, well, what can a pitcher do?
Or maybe defense, because we knew how many errors that they had
yeah,
in
the defense too is everything that went wrong with the Jays. It's not going to be what happened last year. They're going to be a lot better. They will be pushing for a wild card spot, potentially a division. But
you're obviously a Jays fan, yeah.
I will say this though.
But the AL is about hitting. The AL is a hitting league.
Yeah,
And
they got the big sticks to do it, right?
Well, you know what? A guy who's usually pretty good, both defensively as well with the bat, is Derek Jeter. Now, last year was a bit of a write-off. Tried coming back. Things didn't work out that great. But he is back this year, and it will be his final season. Now, we know what happened to Mariano Rivera the year before. He had this wonderful send-off, and what he's done for baseball, without a doubt, where he's come from and what he's done, that's great. But this is Derek Jeter. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. This guy has lived a lavish lifestyle from day one. Yeah. From the cars to the women to what he does on the plate. He's done everything to a 9 or a 10. So, guys, does he deserve a proper send-off, much like Mariano Rivera did, considering that, how humble he is and the grounds he came through compared to Derek Jeter? Not saying he's not humble at all, but the comparisons is from a guy who was a star to a superstar in Derek Jeter. Does he deserve the same, rocking chair from Minnesota or another gift from the Boston Red Sox? The Toronto Blue Jays, God knows what they gave Mariano that day. But, guys, do you think that's fair? Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was interesting. But, guys, does Derek Jeter deserve a proper send-off, or does he just play ball?
100%. I think he's the face of MLB. You look at since he came into the league, handled himself as a professional, did everything the right way all the time, never caused problems. And I hate the Yankees, but he was their franchise, right?
So you have no problem with the Red Sox honoring Derek Jeter?
No problem. I just think he is such a class act and really is what baseball should be about. Him and Mo, anything you read about them, always positive all the time. So I think he deserves it for sure.
He'll get a send-off. I don't think it'll go to the extent that Rivera got, because Rivera was the best closer in the game. He changed the game of closing for what it is today. But He'll get a send-off. I don't think he'll get the rocking chair and all that stuff, but he'll get the standing ovation and whatnot, and he'll just play ball.
Yeah, not the gifts, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
See, I have no problem with that.
I don't think
Cheer for
Jeter
a
will
guy.
want stuff like that either.
I don't
I
think
don't
Jeter
think he
cares.
needs it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know what? Let's talk about college football now. We have a certain player named Johnny Manziel who's kind of lit it up for Texas A&M. He also lit it up in the Houston Chronicle article mentioning that if, it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but if the Houston Texans don't pick him first overall, they're going to regret it because he's going to be picked by Jacksonville or somebody in that division, and he's going to meet him twice a year and light him up. Do you like his confidence going into the draft?
I like Johnny Manziel as a person, but I don't want him on my team, no, especially opening his mouth like that, because say he does get drafted to the Texans, there's a good chance he's not going to have any success there, and then he's in trouble.
Hey, they got their receivers, though. The pieces are there. It's just everything that went wrong. It's not like this is a team that's like the Cleveland Browns here.
Yeah, but when you're playing college ball, you have like little children running after you. These are like gigantic
Yeah,
men
exactly.
coming off the ends and hammering you. Sure, you can drive away from it, but you get clocked once. Like, he's a small guy. Like, he's not a big quarterback.
Do you think that's a little too much from a guy who's only like, what, 5'10"? He
Yeah.
claims he's 6 foot, though.
Yeah, and I say I'm 6'2" on my stat sheet, but
Not even close.
yeah. No, but Manziel's a high-risk player. I think he throws a lot of like bad passes. A lot of times he runs out of the pocket when he could stay in the pocket and make those passes, which you need to do in the NFL. And he runs his personal life the same way, the type of stuff he got away with partying. And I just don't think he'll go to Houston. I think Houston's going to trade down, to be honest, and maybe get a couple players and maybe a pick. And realistically, you look at the mock rankings, Manziel's third on the mock rankings.
Because you have
in
tons of
QBs.
quarterbacks here that are solid.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater is one that comes to mind right now for me.
Yeah, he's number one overall,
Yeah,
I think, in
that's-
everyone's eyes,
that's who
right?
I'd take over
so
Manziel for
I think
sure.
Manziel is a high risk. Someone's going to take him in the first round early. I just don't know Houston. That's kind of almost a lose-lose. Like, it's got to work out
But if
awesome.
you were the organization, you're not trading down, but really quick, if you were the Houston Texans, you heard his interview. This guy's confident, wants to be in Houston, wants to play for your team, and says, look, I am that guy who could help this team. Would you not want to pick him first overall just from the process from his interview? He was joking a little bit, but he did have a serious side saying that he wants to be in Houston, wants to play for the Texans.
No, I think it could be a cancer in the room, to be honest with you.
Really?
Especially guys with Andre Johnson and Foster, and I just don't see things going
When you see
very
like,
well.
when you see like J.J. Watt just laying the smack down on him, just trying to calm him down a little bit?
I don't think he calms down, though. He
No.
hasn't done it.
No.
He hasn't done it
I'll
in
say this,
NCAA.
he's matured a little bit. He's gone away from the partying, hasn't really tweeted as much. I think he's still only, what, 20, 21? He's got a lot of years, but I think he'd be all right.
I just don't know if you take a guy just for the fact that he says, I want to be here, I want to be the guy. I think there's a lot of other QBs that are humble that could be the guy and probably have a lot more tools. Not that Manziel might not be good. I'm sure I might eat my words a few years from now, but I just don't trust him being that pro that's going to lead your team to the Super Bowl. He's not Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Talk is cheap.
You know, his height. We'll just see what happens with the hype that surrounds him. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we got more great topics here on the Gloves Are Off.